Today we're going to be installing a winch mount. I've been looking at winches lately, and I've gotten several things now from Broaddict off their Amazon page, and I've been satisfied with everything. The quality always looks good, quick shipping, so we're going to try their winch mount. This is not an unboxing video, as you can tell. We're going to go through it pretty quick. I never could understand those. If you order something, it comes in a box. Hey, but it was 12 degrees this morning, and I finally waited till it got into the 30s at least. We want to improve this safety record, and seems like every time I work on this Bronco I draw blood, and cold makes it only worse. Here's a quick look at my Bronco shrine. Took 3 years to get the Bronco, so I was adding little things to the wall before it ever got here. His baby picture here and a timeline of my reservation to delivery, which took 3 years. But anyway, here's what's in the box. You have the winch mount itself, 2 new tow hook brackets that hold the winch mount, and a little bag of goodies. That'll be hardware. So let's get to it. The first thing we'll do here is take these plastic trim pieces off that cover the factory tow hook and bumper mount bolts. They're held in by 4 push pins, plastic push pins. You can get them off with a screwdriver, but I have this little trim panel removal tool that works pretty good. You'll find all 4 push pins, 2 at the bottom, and there's 2 at the top. I see them right here above my little orange nipple ring, so I guess I'll have to take them off. Once you have that clear, you can just pull. There's little metal clips that it just pushes in. You can pull that straight out and it should come off just like that. And we're going to do the same to the other side. You'll want to keep these factory sensors, but you can't quite get to the wire yet. So we'll take these 3 bolts on each side. Yes, that's 3 with my cold and arthritic fingers. I'll enlist my only friend today, which is my Badlands jack, awesome jack from Harbor Freight if you need a high lift jack. You'll use a 15mm socket and remove these 3 factory bolts from the tow hook brackets that hold the bumper on. The bumper's not going to fall off. Don't worry about that. It sits on the frame horns. You don't really need this jack, but there's a wiring harness on the driver's side corner that I couldn't get my hands up into, or I could have just taken the bumper off and set it down myself, but I didn't want to put any stress on that wiring harness, so I'm going to enlist the help of 2 more friends, Home Depot and Roll Tide, Bama, and make me a little table here to set the bumper down on so it doesn't stress that wiring harness any. I had to get some clearance so I could get my hands up in there and unsnap that clip. We'll see it right here. It's just right up in there, right past this painted piece in the corner. You'll just want to press in on that clip, and this is how it looks when it's undone. And then the bumper can be laid on the floor on a piece of cardboard or cloth to protect it. And then we'll start taking it apart. Now we can take a 13mm socket and remove the 4 bolts, 2 on top, 2 on bottom, that hold the factory tow bracket in place. It all comes out as one unit. And on the back side, there is one 10mm bolt that holds the tow hook to the bracket. And once you have that off, you can put the tow hook to the side. You're not going to use it anymore, maybe later on if you ever take the winch off. Once you have that off, you can see the wiring harness that goes to the sensor that we need to keep and extend the wire to. It's just under that bracket there, but you can take a small flat screwdriver or something and pry the two ears on either side away. Here I'll show you on one that further down the line that I can get a better picture of, but you just pry that away from the clip on each side and the sensor will lift straight out. Once that sensor is out, you can just fish that back through and down and let it hang right in the middle where the factory tow hook used to be. Here you see after the bracket for the tow hook is rebolted from the back, the wire hang down right in the middle, and we'll do the same to the other side. The sensors, well, they give you these rubber grommets to put them in with. They'll look nice, but not quite factory. They also give you a rubber plug to put in the hole of the new winch mount in case you don't have the factory sensors. Now, as I said, they intend for you to use these rubber grommets, and they fit in the hole very tightly on the winch mount, but they don't fit the sensor quite well enough for my liking. I'm not sure if they expect you to silicone the sensor in place once it's put in the rubber grommet, or what they want you to do there to get it to stay in, but I'm not going to silicone a sensor in. So what we'll do is we'll take the factory plastic piece, here it is right here, and because it locks into the sensor good, we'll use it and it'll look factory. Now it doesn't quite fit the hole tight enough to stay in place, so we'll have to do something there. But here you see it holds the sensor as it was intended to be and snaps in. You can snap it out later if you need to replace it or anything like that. So we'll tape that grommet in place after we get it lined up so that it doesn't fall out or move around. And from the back side, you want to make sure that the wide opening right here is facing this longer channel down here, so you'll have room to plug your wiring harness in without it hitting the sidewall or anything of the new winch mount. It will go in the orientation just like that. Here we have both tow hook brackets bolted back in place and the factory wiring harness hanging down in the middle of them. We have the two factory grommets taped up real well so that they won't move. And you can actually just silicone around the back side of this, would hold it fine, but I'm going to use 3 spots of JB Weld epoxy on either side just to hold it a little better. Now while that epoxy is drying, we can grab our tow hook extension plates that mount the new winch plate. They look to be identical. There's no left and a right. And we'll grab the factory bolts that we took out and we'll bolt them up loosely but snugly. We want a little movement so that we can line the bumper up side to side, up, down as it should be. You'll make a couple minor adjustments here and there after you get the winch plate on. After we've got the bumper in place, kind of loose and kind of snug. You'll see the factory wire and harness for the sensors will be hanging down just to the inside of each of those new brackets there. These are what you'll want to add a 10-inch extension to. We'll set the new winch plate up there. Oh, wait a minute, I said 10 inches, so we're going to solder a 10-inch extension into the plugs here. I like to solder. You can use waterproof crimps if you like, but solder is better, especially in something that might see water. If anybody is an entrepreneur and wants to sell a few products, I think if you made a factory replacement that's 10 inches long, it would fit just about any winch mount out there. I know after I got this installed, I had a couple of inches left over, just tucked away. Here you want to make sure these factory cover plates are going to fit and nothing's too tight and needs adjustment. You'll take them back off, and then we'll go back and set the new winch plate in loosely with the 6 nuts, bolts, and washers that they provide in the kit. Once you get everything together, and you'll just snug them up and make some final little adjustments up and down as you tighten everything up. And then it's just small adjustments and tweaking from there on. Plug in your sensors and you're done. You'll plug your sensor harness into the plugs. They're protected well away from the winch into that channel right there. I've seen some that run across under or beside the winch. I wouldn't want to do that, but these, if you make a 10-inch extension, they will run right up into the sensor there, into that channel. And there you have it. Everything's ready. Now I just got to decide on a winch. And as always, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.